shoulder as he looks out on the road. They know they're not alone, that this is theirs and so it stays. And the trip goes on and on and on each day.
In June of 2012, 2 nursing homes took 17 residents on a 10-day road trip from Denver, Colorado, all the way to San Diego to see the Pacific Ocean.
Look, my luggage on now.
It's on there.
Okay.
You are the first one, real fast.
Okay, thank you.
How you doing? Good, how are you?
How I wish that it was us. No hand holds me on the bus. Nobody to rock me in the night. When you're in your bed and you're closing your eyes, I'm right beside you where you lie. I'm a simple person and I like my time alone. But paradise without you is a bore.
Yeah, here.
I just keep walking up and down this perfect beach. But all I think about is you and me, and how we'll one day reach the sea of our home and our house that sits and waits for us each day in the cold snow so far away from either
Where are you
of us.
going?
We're both traveling the world in separate times and places, and I'm getting sick of seeing faces kissing and a loving how it makes me miss you so. But I know that I've got you in your mind, it's just the passing of the time.
Due to the various health issues of the residents, the group took 3 handicap-accessible vans with a moving truck to transport all of the food and gear necessary for the long trip. Because this was so unprecedented, even the staff was unsure of exactly what supplies would be needed. Both residents and staff stayed in cabins throughout the trip. On the first night, however, due to a communication error, there were not enough cabins, so the residents erected 2 tents while the staff made dinner.
There we go. I think that's accurate, isn't it, guys?
Hey,
You can attach
there you go,
those,
Mark.
Absolutely.
I just don't want
You
to
guys
see
did a nice job.
Yeah, like, sorry. I should have bought one. I knew
This
I
is the men's tent. Because it's a 6-man tent, not a 6-woman tent. We already had that discussion.
Okay. Oh.
That was fast.
Is there
It's
any
done.
bears around here?
No, not
Are there any
not unless you,
bears?
not unless you count some of the hairy men.
The Four Corners was a major stop on the trip. Most of the residents enjoyed standing on the monument,
There. Then you guys stand in front. Rich and there you go.
but Larry was focused on one thing, a turquoise ring. Larry had saved as much money as he could prior to the trip in order to purchase a ring from the Native American vendors here. After perusing the shops for more than an hour, Larry found his ring.
Nobody to rock me in the night. But when you're in your bed.
Many of the residents had never been to the Grand Canyon. A quick stop was added into the itinerary, and luckily, despite the high temperatures, most of the residents were able to see the incredible views from the lookout points. Next on the list, Las Vegas.
Sometimes I feel large.
Fremont Street was the first stop in Vegas, with an essential all-you-can-eat buffet experience. This was the first time in Vegas for most of the residents. Thus, the bright lights, large crowds, hundreds of games and machines, and every other distraction made it slightly difficult to keep the whole group together.
Sometimes I think big.
And while most of the residents were comfortable with the air conditioning and penny slots, Mark took interest in the zip line that sailed down Fremont Street. His enthusiasm convinced a couple of staff members to join him as well.
I decided to do the zip line.
Yeah.
Because heights fascinate me for one thing. I'm always loving heights, anything that has to do with heights. And the speed fascinates me. I love speed. And going over that strip, you know, that road, that street, was just, it was neat. It was really fascinating, so I decided I would try it.
Yeah.
We're in line. We're all in line. Can you get yourself?
It'll be upside down. Was I scared?
Yeah. Let's
It's
keep
a
going.
good question. I really was. When he put me on a stool at the top of the thing, and he said, lift your legs. And I thought I was just going to hang there until he set me off. But I lifted my legs and I was gone, man. I was like, whoa. And it scared me at first, but I calmed down and I had such a good time, man. I had a really good time. It was just a rush, and it was, to see all those people down there, you know, walking around and hearing that music and everything, and me just flying through the air. I've never experienced nothing like that before.
Yeah.
What'd you think, my man? Good. That was cool, man.
That night, Mark got a special lesson in fire building. Having grown up a Boy Scout, he revisited his roots as Brandon taught him how to start a fire without matches.
Okay, what we did was we put some kindling down, and then we put something down. I can't remember what it was. Then we put twine. We took twine and we unraveled it and made a bird's nest out of it. And then he put cotton with Vaseline on it. And he took a stone with a pocket knife and pulled the stone, and it made sparks, and it caught the cotton on fire. I've never seen nothing like that.
Okay. Now go ahead and start putting your little stuff on, and then this stuff.
Just lay it on top.
Yeah, just kind of stack it right over. What you can do is,
And then I just picked it up by the kindling and set it in the fire. Started right up.
Sometimes I act small. Sometimes I don't act like anything at all. And I wonder if I'll ever see the day when all these feelings fade away.
Amidst all of the successes of the trip, there were inevitable rough patches as well. The vans proved to be a constant source of problems, whether it was as seemingly simple as gas,
Ooh, I have no fuel. It says low fuel. Oh my god.
or more concerning problems like the broken air conditioners in the desert.
Tammy, nobody's work. It doesn't keep up. It just can't keep up with this heat. Nobody's work.
Hey, can we order chicken?
Yeah?
Okay, we can't bring our vans through the drive-thru, so I'm walking through it, okay? Because they're too high.
Okay.
These issues just became exhausting and required constant attention from the staff.
13 minutes. If it's not done, we're screwed.
Meanwhile, the residents had to adjust to the long hours of each day on the van. The early mornings were a change-up from their typical set schedules and required coffee for all. These long days sometimes meant that staff had to dole out the meds late at night to get residents to bed on time. And while these days were tiring, there was little downtime as the residents prepared for the next day's activity. Tomorrow was the zoo. Because of the expanse of the park and some of the mobility issues of the residents, the group opted for bus tours and sightseeing rides at the zoo.
Coming up on our left, we're going to see our Maasai giraffes. Maasai giraffes are the smallest of the giraffes from Africa. The Maasai giraffe get up to about 17 feet tall, and as you can see, we've got a couple of babies here. Actually, that's all three of them right there. The taller one on the right is a little girl. She was born a year ago in April. When she was born, she was 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighed 170 pounds. To the left is the little boy born in September. He was 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighed about 162 pounds. And the little petite one over there turned 3 weeks old.
Charles, a former Marine, was stationed in San Diego from 1967 to 1973. However, he never saw very much of the area, partly because of his duties, partly because of his drinking.
All we did for one day was
Colorado.
get drunk.
Just on the border, just out of Arizona.
First time we ever had a chance to have any beer. They don't give you beer in boot camp.
Like many other residents, Charles required care because of issues brought on by substance abuse. In 2010, he suffered a stroke brought on by drinking.
Yeah, I woke up one morning and couldn't move my right side. Yeah, I had a stroke. My dad always told me, son, you're going to have a stroke. Son, you're going to have a stroke. And sure enough, I did.
Why did he say that? Like what?
Sure everything was okay, and I will talk
Well, you
to
could see it coming.
later.
Oh, really?
Yeah. As much as I drank. All I ever drank was beer, but guess that's enough to do it.
For most of the residents, this was the first time they had seen the ocean.
I'm gonna love Josh. Got your bathing suit on? Why, are we going swimming today? No, to the beach. We're going to the beach. Today? Yeah, when we leave. Well, I can use these shoes.
Like I said, I've never been there. I've never seen it. I think the ocean is too far to go out into on a ship or a boat or something.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it might be.
The ocean is too
rough. Way too. Well, I've never been on a ship, but I've seen it on TV.
Is that why you're scared to go in the ocean? Because it might be too rough?
Yeah. Well, maybe on a boat, a nice big boat where we could trust. But
Many were worried about going in for a variety of reasons.
She's not going in the ocean.
It's unforbidden and it's too much unknown.
Oh, you have to just.
A shark might show up. She'll be like, ah.
Surprisingly, a few of the residents were most scared by the possibility of being attacked by a shark.
I want to do something exciting before I leave here, California.
You should go in the ocean.
I'm not going in there. You kidding, right?
That small part.
Oh, no. I'm not going in nothing ocean. I'm not.
Then you'll be a sightseer.
I will. I mean, you know, I don't have to worry about no fish sucking my toes and stuff.
Oh my God.
Look, I done watched a lot of movies on TV and I ain't been able to sleep, see? And waking up.
According to Fifi, she had seen too many people on TV attacked by sharks. She had only 9 toes and wanted to be sure that she kept all of them. In her mind, going into the ocean inevitably meant losing more to a shark.
They come in there and
you're talking about deep in the ocean.
They turn off my TV because I be watching sharks, all them sharks. And this shark just came up on land and just ate that man off the stage and just crunched and went on back in the water like nothing happened.
A shark came up on stage?
Yeah.
Where?
It just jumped up on stage, grabbed the man, put him in his mouth, and went on back in the water. You know, see,
regular old flipper, huh?
A shark. That's not a flipper. And he went in the water and swam on like it wasn't no big deal. What's wrong with you, fish? You just ate a movie star off the stage. And you could just hear him crunching.
What channel does this come on, Phoebe?
22, Sci-Fi.
Don't know, I never watched that channel.
And it just ate them 2 women. It ate the top of her body and left just a little waves in her legs. I believe in what I see on TV.
It was finally beach time, the culmination of the trip. While some of the residents welcomed the opportunity, a few stayed away, opting instead to relax at the picnic spot.
Ocean! Yes! Off and on you go, soon I'll go, and we'll be gone. Away apart, an ocean, a breeze, a mountain, a river, a forest of trees, a desert, a jungle, a sea of concrete, and all of the dirt beneath our feet. Obstacles, please let us sail through, though you distract with your solid disguise. Obstacles, please turn into thin air, do not give way to our human demise. Fought like a bear who's fighting a ghost, a feeling, a memory that hurts him the most.
With the day at the beach winding down, staff and other residents urged Fifi to face her fear and successfully convinced her to get her feet wet in the ocean.
Keep your shoes on until we get down there, because the sand will get a little warm.
Okay.
Yeah, who cares if you wear them in?
You can keep your feet safe.
Oh!
We can get you shoes.
Yeah.
I'll buy you a new pair of shoes, Fifi. If you want. I
These,
will.
these are my favorite shoes.
Waving hello and goodbye and hello. Sand turns to snow, leaves into sticks, and I possibly made a mistake I can't fix. But balance has reached the summit, a peak, the evenness that I'd craved all along. We see eye to eye, we walk foot to foot, we're surely triumphant and clear in the soot. Obstacles.
After a long day of sun and ocean, the residents relaxed by a fire. A fire made without matches. A fire marking a successful trip.
Well, San Diego, I don't, at least I can say I came here and I had the time of my life.
That's good.
I really did. It beats staying at the nursing home all the time now. I'm way, way far away. This position, I must remember it for a lifetime. Because I died, I had fun.
Moving forwards, never looking back. Just one more foot in front of all those countless others, and we're there. Imagine that. And I'm not saying that the road isn't very long. It stretches as far as our eyes can see. And if we keep moving on, I cannot tell you where we'll be, but it's one more foot in front of the others.
That's the end, kids.
Grabbing hold
That's the end.
with one hand, letting go. Just one more foot in front of all those countless others. Will we get there? We may never know. And I'm not saying that the road isn't very rough. It's wearing our souls all to hell, and the future may be tough, but upon these things we must not dwell. When it's one foot in front of the others, say hello and then wave goodbye.